Good evening, everyone. This video is going to be a trading review and support session for October the 5th, 2022. Let's kind of go through what the market has been trying to do lately. It has been bouncing from the new low that it made, and it did a pretty good bounce. This is today. We're saying it could be narrowing in on the 20-day moving average, and it still is. Hasn't hit it yet, even overnight. It's still a few points away from that. But it did go down today, and can have come back up. So it was a reasonable day today in terms of market action. Tomorrow is really going to be more important. Tomorrow would be the fourth day of this rally attempt, and so that's really what is going to be the determining factor on if it's just going to hover around this 20-day moving average and end up being a down day, or is it going to actually go through the 20-day moving average on high volume and be an up day, which would be by definition be called a continuing day, a continuation day on a daily basis, and that can set the market in motion to be back on the upside. We won't know what they're going to do till tomorrow. We don't know what they're going to do around the specifically around the 20-day moving average. So that's kind of what's going on right here. So I'm not really too concerned about, on the 24-hour basis, the small down day. Tomorrow and what it's going to do on the 20-day moving average is going to be a little bit more important. But as we were looking at it this morning, let me look at the big picture chart, so that would kind of set my mindset a little bit. So let's find the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open was around here, right? And it was already starting to come off of the low that it had made below S1. So I thought it was, looking as though it might want to pop a little bit, and actually it did. So that's why I was trading kind of early. And so when it was kind of consolidating, right? So here's the open. It's kind of consolidating and kind of pushed up. I ended up going a little bit early. It is trading the first 3 minutes. You can say it's all early. But it did make a push up. Didn't get out at the 2x20, so I had to come down and kind of test this open area again, and then come up. So I was a little bit anxious. I could have gotten in here, right, and been a little bit more of a faster entry, right, and could have got out. Instead, I got out through here. So anyway, I only was going for 1 point, so that was the first trade. And then it showed some pretty good strength, kind of retreated from the 5-minute moving average a little bit, and back to the S1 area. And this time I did let it pull back instead of chasing it here, right, on this extension up close to the guide band. I did let it pull back, and when it started coming through, and I got took the trade again, and took another trade. Again, only for 1 point. It was kind of early. I didn't want to get smashed down, as it turns out, right? Both of them could have been delivered for 1.5 points. So, but at this point, early, I was up 2, and didn't really want to chase it too much further in through here, right? I mean, it was doing okay after it came back and tested it and went through the 2x200. Just didn't want to push it too terribly much. And then this, mid S1 is where it kind of met its resistance and started coming down. And so I was watching it, and I kind of took it when it broke through the EMA here, right? This is a pretty quick trade. I hit it, and it was out very quickly. So much that I don't even got to say the whole word short. I mean, I started to say shh, and I was already out of the trade. So that was a quick 1.5 points. So up 2.5 at that point. And let's see, there was I think I had one more trade before I hit my stop out. Okay, so here's my one more trade, right? So here we are at 645. Had some nice buying. Didn't chase it there. Again, let it pull back a little bit, and then the continuation. So got in here, and that was another 1.5 points. So at that particular point, I'm up 5, and then I had a stop out. Let me find it, and it was not a great trade to take. So while it could have worked, it didn't. So what I was looking at is it made the top here, right? Made a top here around the 2x200, made a lower top there, right? It had made a lower low here, right? Didn't quite make it up there, and so it was selling, right? It was selling. It was into the minute average. The minute average was coming down, so it could have worked for me. It just didn't. And it wasn't perfect alignment. It was just breaking down underneath Fast Flex. Fast Flex was still going up. That's not great. Of course, Ultra Flex had already turned, and Slow Flex had broken down underneath it, but not heading in the down direction. So it was kind of an aggressive trade, and it stopped out. So that put me back into the up 2-point category. So I gave up 3 there. Otherwise, it could have been even a better day. It was a fine day nonetheless. So here's 7 o'clock. We had some news, and the PMI news came out. And maybe it was a little bit stronger than they thought. It was pretty much on forecast. But they started selling it off. I let it get pretty low because the initial reaction in here, right? I mean, on the dome was just kind of crazy. So I did wait a little bit, kind of maybe too long. Maybe I should have tried to. I didn't get in until this bar. Maybe I should have tried to get in somewhere in this bar. I would have been out a little bit sooner. But I did get out for 1.5 points. And let's see, I got in another one. Probably again, I saw this down move to a new low. I was trying to wait for it to bounce a little bit, and it really didn't. So went in and got in somewhere around here. I needed to come down to at that level. I got out before yesterday's low, but got out of the trade for 1.5 points. So that got me back up to my 5 points. Those 2 trades got me my stop out back. So I'm back up to 5, but it's just a little bit after 7. So I traded a couple of more. This one was a little bit aggressive, and I said, well, if I go long and I stop out, it's kind of on me. And I had already adjusted my profit target to 4 ticks at this point. But it had reasonable flex alignment. Here's Ultra Flex going up. Here's Fast Flex going up, and we're well above, right? Slow Flex. It had even turned up at some points, and it had taken out or kind of at the previous high, pivot high, and I did let it come back. That's always a good thing to do. So I didn't chase it here. I mean, those are could have definitely been another. If I had chased it right there. Let's just use this as an example. If I chased it there, it would have been an entry at about 3.25. So the stop would have been at 50.25. So there's 50, and there's 50.25. So it probably would have been one of those exact 3-point stop outs, and not even giving me a chance to get profit. And it really only got back up to that particular level. So if I had the worst possible entry, it would have never even gotten to break even. And then when it came back down. So getting these little pullbacks is sometimes important. Even at that, it was a little bit of a risk trade. But anyway, I got my 1 point. And then it rolled over, right? And now the flexes are aligned. At least Ultra and Fast Flex are aligned, and we're getting volume here, right? Now Slow flex is still above slow flex, but at least slow flex is still heading down. Or in other words, the whole market direction is still kind of down, right? As the minute average is showing, and all the other time-based averages are showing. And you know, it's coming back down, and now slow flex is back down as well. We might get into some of these scenarios. Like I said, these type of scenarios are going to be a judgment call, but it is coming from, you know, a kind of a pull back, kind of up into the value low area. Did get up into the a little momentary thing up into the guide band, but now it's rolling over. You know, there's a two bar combination, and there's some expansion in volume going on here, right? I didn't chase it down here, let it come up. Looks like it's continuing, and this is the one that I did not see. I didn't see mid S2. Otherwise, I may have not have taken it. It got fortunate enough to get me out. I got a real big cursor there. So got in here, and it needed to get down. I was only going for 1 point. Needed to penetrate S2, so it would have been a little bit messed up if I had not gotten out of that trade. And again, the market volume was pretty good, so when it pulls back, it can pull back 3 points relatively easily. So I kind of got lucky that I was only going for 1 point there and got out there. Only about 7:15. There were some other trades available later on in the day, even in the morning before 8:30. But I already had 7 points for the day. Kind of got close to where my, you know, kind of target is, including that I had a loss of 1 point yesterday. So you know, had you know, the last couple of days I had maybe like a 3 point profit average, which is lower than what I would like, but you know, it's acceptable since, you know, yesterday was a small loss day, and I'm still kind of adjusting to using these 3 flexes as well, which I like. I need to tune it a little bit more in terms of the making sure I like the paint bar, but you know, if it's in the neutral category, you really have to like the trade, and again, not be chasing it if it's actually in the if the color trend agrees, but it's too deep into a particular move. You got to wait for a pullback. All right, so that's today real quickly. Any questions on that? Like I mentioned before, in terms of software development, I have now put all 3 of these flexes in the same piece of software. So there's going to be 3 pieces in the software: ultra, fast, and slow. Of course, the inputs are available. You can select any combination of them for the paint bar, and also the EMA. So right now I have, on my chart, I have them all selected, meaning that unless it agrees with all 4 of those to some degree, then it's not going to be colored. It's just going to be white, which you know, will get your attention. Make sure you're kind of making sure that you've got enough things going for you to take a trade in a neutral kind of a zone. This is what, and I'm still thinking about this. To make the chart less crowded, 1, I don't shade the fast zone. Right now I'm not even showing the 2x20, and I'm not showing the 3 minute, and I'm not showing the 5 minute on my trading chart. Now, so that's what I have done. And that's about all I have eliminated, I believe. Oh, I also don't show. I'm also not showing these arrows that are in the short-term analysis. I'm not showing these arrows, so I can don't get distracted with arrows, and we'll see I can see, sometimes I can see volume and expansions a little bit better, right, if I don't have those arrows. So that's in the to take that out in the time analysis one, you do format indicators. Go to time analysis, hit format. Let me bring that over. And if you just go down, you'd do a show 2x20 false, show 3-minute false, show 5-minute false. All right, so those are the ones I have eliminated. Shade fast zone you can set to also to false, because even if you're not showing the 2x20, if you have shade fast zone set to true, it's still going to shade it. And color in slow zone are already set to false. And then I am still showing the 3-minute close. I'm not showing any of the ATRs. I think the CPs were up in here. Hang on, let me see. Oh no, those are now in the, never mind. Those are now in the short-term analysis. So those are the things you would change if you don't want to do that. Now, while that being said, you know, and I'm still kind of going back and forth. So that's the way my chart is set now. But let's go back and take a look at a couple of things, right? Let's see. It was, I'm pretty sure it was today. Hang on just a second, Sean. Hey, hon, I'm in my session. Can I call you back?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, bye.
Okay, love you, bye. Okay, so let's see. Where was it? Oh, it's a little bit here, right? See how it stopped at the 5-minute? But there was another one. I think it was today. If not, it was yesterday. And it's just giving me a little bit of pause on if I want to continue to eliminate those. Let's see, maybe it wasn't today. Maybe it was yesterday. Yeah, because I'd already stopped trading. Let me go back to yesterday, because I mean it's a good. While we're on the subject, let's completely review it so you can see that there is a reason for those things. It's just a matter of, do you want and or need to clean the chart up? So I'm going to go back to yesterday morning. Give me a second to get all the way back there. Okay, so all right, so here we are. So let me see if I don't remember what time it was. I'm hoping it was today. We're already well over these things right now. I remember what I was looking at. It seems like it ran up to the 5-minute moving average and then stopped. Here's a hold kind of around the 3-minute moving average. Not that you'd really, not that these are great entry points down in here. They're not, right? And sometimes it just, you know, it's just okay. It's there. Maybe that's the reason to stop. But you know, the entry should have been, you know, earlier, right? And you would have had a chance to get out by then. I'm not even seeing where the 5-minute moving average. Oh, there it is down there. Let's see if this was it at all. Maybe even been a different day. Here again, the 3 minutes trying to hold. So you see, I mean, it's got all these things on there. Well, this is kind of down in that region, but it also got oversold and then bounced some. Here, oh, here's a hit to the 5-minute moving average and then back up. Now, is this a great alignment? This wasn't the great alignment. It's kind of similar. If you take it soon enough, right? You could have gotten out, but it's kind of similar to the one I took today. Got a stop out. It's just kind of breaking underneath. Let's see, this is already 8:40 time frame. Kind of breaking underneath the minute average and ultraflex and fast flex, and the slow is there, so it's really not trending that much. I mean, well, these things it's best to let it pull down and then pull back up, but that gives the flexes an opportunity to get in alignment. So this is still not the one I wanted to show in terms of, one time it went right up to the 5-minute moving average and stopped. Maybe it was the day before. So right now I'm okay with having eliminated those. I'll still keep an eye on it for myself, but I think it does, and getting rid of them and getting rid of the fast zone for me, and I think this new paper is going to help me as well. So I can, because sometimes I get, my problem is still I'm still over trading, right? I'm still over trading. Did okay today, but sometimes I'm just hitting the button when the market is kind of pulling back, and or I'm hitting the button too early, too late, and so I think the new wider, more predominant neutral zone will help me out some. So that's kind of my take on things right now. So going to give it a few days. I'll continue to fine tune this piece of software so that I can get it out to you. What I think I'm going to do, even though I've got all three indicators in a new version of the short-term indicator, I think I'm still going to give you that fast flex. I just call it a variable flex. So if you want to put it on your chart and play with it, right, with different settings and that kind of stuff, you could do that. So I think even though I'm not going to have it on the chart, if you want to insert it and play with it, because right now I'm thinking that I might increase the speed of fast flex and slow flex a little bit. Just thinking about it, haven't done it yet. I'll continue to look at the charts, but if we settle on new values, of course, it's pretty easy to change those. Alrighty. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thanks. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow morning, and or not, we'll see you the next time you're in. So, all right. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.